Kill them all. Everybody down! Over there!
The film opens with an explosion of color and chaos in Buñol, Spain, where the world-famous La Tomatina festival is at its peak. But beneath this playful storm of red, a far more serious operation is quietly underway. MI6 and the CIA have launched a joint intelligence mission, one that was meant to be routine, clean, and quick. Instead, it begins to unravel almost instantly. Leading the mission is Noel Besset, an MI6 operative known for her calm precision and razor-sharp instincts. Her objective is simple on paper: capture Viktor Gradov, a notorious Russian arms dealer who has slipped through the cracks of global intelligence for years. This should have been a straightforward takedown, but the moment her team begins to close in, Noel senses something wrong. Gradov has turned the festival into a labyrinth of misdirection, decoys, doubles, and staged distractions that scatter the agents in every direction. Every moment wasted tightens the knot of danger around them. Then Noel sees it, a van parked just beyond the crowd. Too quiet, too clean, too still. Her instincts flare, and within seconds, her fear becomes reality. The van erupts into a violent explosion, tearing through the celebration and triggering a brutal ambush. Everything collapses in an instant. Agents are wiped out. Screams dissolve into the roar of chaos. Bodies vanish into the smoke and carnage. And in the aftermath, Noel is presumed dead, another casualty of a mission that should never have failed. But while the intelligence world mourns the loss of some of its best operatives, something even more alarming happens in the shadows. Amid the confusion, Arthur Hammond, an elusive and dangerous associate of Gradov, slips away unnoticed and gains access to Echelon, the most powerful global surveillance system ever built. A digital crown jewel of intelligence, now in the hands of someone who should never have touched it. The story then shifts to London. Inside a cozy living room, a man sinks into a leather couch, eyes fixed on a glowing television screen. This man is Sam Clark, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. The news he's watching covers the arrival of the US President, Will Derringer, who has just touched down in London before heading to the NATO summit in Italy. The media can't get enough of Derringer. They praise his charisma, his confidence, his Hollywood past. Once a beloved movie star, he is now the leader of the free world, and the cameras adore him for it. But to Sam, all this glamour feels exaggerated and exhausting. He shifts uncomfortably, irritation tightening his jaw. The idea of handling diplomacy with a man he sees as more performer than policymaker is not his idea of a productive week. Their personalities clash on almost every level. Will is bold, impulsive, and theatrical, while Sam is steady, understated, and shaped by decades of quiet public service. Unable to sit through another glowing headline, Sam shuts off the television, grabs his running shoes, and steps out into the soft morning drizzle. His staff knows this routine well. When stress hits, Sam runs. As he sets out along the wet pavement, Quincy Harrington, his aide and closest confidant, delivers the news that stops him cold. The joint MI6 CIA mission in Spain has collapsed. Most of the team is presumed dead or missing. The moment Sam hears Noel Besset's name, everything inside him shifts. He hides it well. Years of training keep his face still, but the news hits like a punch. Noel wasn't just an agent. She was a friend, someone who supported him long before he became Prime Minister. Under the gray London sky, Sam doesn't feel like a leader. He feels like a man grieving someone who mattered. Across the city, inside Buckingham Palace, President Will Derringer settles into his temporary royal suite with his wife and daughter. As always, crowds gather outside, eager to see the former Hollywood star turned president. To the world, Will is more than a politician. He's a global celebrity. But behind the public charm, he carries a growing frustration, especially towards Sam. Their rivalry has become impossible to ignore. Will's visit to London isn't just diplomatic. It's an attempt to repair NATO unity before it falls apart. Not long after his family leaves for an engagement, Will receives a private briefing from his aide, Simone Bradshaw. The news is grim. The Spain mission failed. But the truth is even worse. Viktor Gradov isn't just an arms dealer. He's a rogue weapons engineer with the mind and resources to create technology far beyond anything the world is prepared for. A NATO strike once destroyed his secret compound, and he vanished for years. Spain was their first real chance to stop him. Instead, he outplayed them again. Later that afternoon, Sam and Will appear together for a joint press conference. The tension between them hangs heavy in the room. Forced smiles, stiff posture, no warmth. When reporters bring up the failed operation, the event spirals quickly. Questions fly, demanding answers neither leader is ready to give. But underneath the chaos lies the real fear. Echelon. With Gradov now holding access to the world's most advanced surveillance system, nothing is secure. Every call, every message, every camera feed, he can see it all. Gradov isn't just a threat anymore. He's everywhere. As the pressure builds, the ideological divide between Sam and Will finally cracks, and their tension erupts for the world to witness. The moment the press conference begins, the divide between Sam and Will becomes impossible to hide. Their clashing leadership styles, Sam's measured diplomacy versus Will's bold aggression, nearly erupt into a public argument. They stop themselves just in time. Once the cameras disappear, the real confrontation begins. Behind closed doors, years of tension boil over. Old grudges and political differences erupt into a heated, almost personal fight. It spirals quickly until their loyal aides, Simone Bradshaw and Quincy Harrington, step in. Calm and collected, they remind both leaders that the world is watching, and unity is more important than pride. With the NATO summit approaching, Simone offers a solution. Will and Sam should fly together on Air Force One to Italy. The image of unity could stabilize global confidence. Reluctantly, they agree. Far from the diplomatic chaos, a darker scene unfolds in Côte d'Azur. In a shadowy luxury estate, Viktor Gradov reveals his true brutality. When one of his snipers makes a small mistake during the Spain operation, Gradov kills him without hesitation. It's a chilling reminder. Failure in his world means death. Gradov isn't just dangerous, he's merciless. High above the clouds aboard Air Force One, Sam and Will attempt small talk for the sake of optics. It lasts only minutes before they slip back into argument. Philosophy, leadership, global power. Nothing is off limits. But before the conflict can escalate again, something more alarming happens. The plane shakes. No one realizes it at first, but the aircraft is no longer under friendly control. Gradov's people have hacked into Echelon and infiltrated the flight systems. This isn't a coincidence. It's a coordinated strike. A chance to eliminate both world leaders in one blow. Suddenly, alarms erupt. Security scrambles. Radar screens flare with hostile signals. Multiple heat signatures appear outside the aircraft. Missiles are inbound. At first, Sam and Will are too busy arguing to notice the danger around them until the plane jolts violently and emergency alarms erupt. Panic tears through the cabin. An agent rushes toward them, shouting over the screams and failing engines. He forces parachutes into their hands and gives them one final order. Get to the safe house in Poland. Whatever happens, survive. Seconds later, the two leaders are pushed out into the storm, plummeting into the darkness below. Rivals turned fugitives in an instant. News spreads worldwide within hours. Air Force One has gone down over Belarusian airspace. Both President Will Deringer and Prime Minister Sam Clark are presumed dead, victims of what appears to be a catastrophic attack. Governments scramble, rumors explode, and the world teeters on the edge of panic. In Washington, Vice President Elizabeth Kirk steps before the cameras, shaken but resolute, declaring herself acting president. She vows to uncover the truth, no matter who is responsible. But the real story is far from over. Deep in the wilderness near the Belarus-Poland border, two battered figures drag themselves up from the wreckage of their emergency landing. Soaked, bruised, and very much alive, Will and Sam now find themselves stranded in hostile territory with no phones, no security, and no one coming to save them. The world thinks they're dead. And that's exactly how someone wanted it. Will clings to hope, insisting that a rescue team is already searching. But Sam sees through the illusion. In his quiet, grim certainty, he lays out the truth. This wasn't an accident. Someone on the inside orchestrated the attack. Someone powerful enough to erase them completely. No country will risk crossing enemy borders to recover men officially listed as dead. Back in Trieste, Italy, where world leaders gather under a growing cloud of fear, acting President Elizabeth Kirk moves fast. With top cybersecurity specialists at her side, she orders an emergency reboot of Echelon, global surveillance's most powerful system. For a moment, it seems like they might regain gained control. Screens flash, code races, technicians fight their way through layers of digital sabotage. Hope rises, then dies in an instant. A catastrophic breach tears through the system. Arthur Hammond has infiltrated the reboot, and within seconds, control slips out of NATO's hands. Meanwhile, far across Europe, Will Derringer and Sam Clark, officially dead and still running for their lives, are discovering how unforgiving the real world can be. Desperate for transportation, they try to steal an abandoned car. But before they can escape, a group of local boys catches them in the act. The confrontation quickly spirals into a full-on brawl, and both men brace themselves for a beating they likely won't walk away from. Then help arrives from the last person they'd expect. An elderly woman, tiny, tough, and armed with nothing but a broom, charges in and scatters the boys like a flock of pigeons. Without hesitation, she offers the two battered leaders a ride to the Polish border in the back of her rattling truck, packed with injured sheep. It's cramped, smelly, and uncomfortable, but it gets them across forests and back roads until the lights of Warsaw appear on the horizon. At the edge of the city, Will and Sam thank her with heartfelt gratitude. Her kindness may have saved their lives. She smiles, nods once, and drives away. In Warsaw, the two are taken in by CIA officer Marty Combs, an old ally with his own share of debts and loyalties. The safe house is small and discreet, just enough to buy them a few hours apiece. But it doesn't last. Gradov's takeover of Echelon means nothing digital is truly hidden anymore. Cameras, phones, networks, everything has become a potential tracking device. The moment Will and Sam reach the capital, they were exposed. Marty briefs them on the chaos unfolding worldwide. Intelligence networks are collapsing. Allies are turning against each other. The upcoming NATO summit is shaping up to be a battlefield in all but name. Even within the U.S. leadership, tensions are boiling, especially between acting President Kirk and Simone Bradshaw. Loyalty is becoming a rare commodity. Will, ever hopeful, insists they should call the U.S. Embassy and reveal they're alive. Their return could shift global momentum. But Sam isn't convinced. The line between friend and foe is blurry now. We don't know who's listening, he warns. If we make one wrong move, we're dead before we explain anything. Their argument escalates. Once again, two men united by purpose, but divided by instinct. And then, before they can decide their next move, the danger arrives. Grodov's assassins, Sasha and Olga, a pair of ruthless, highly trained operatives, finally catch up with Will and Sam. The safe house erupts into chaos. Bullets shattering glass, shadows darting through the smoke, and the air thick with danger. The hunt is no longer silent. This is war. Marty, ever loyal, throws himself into the fray. Against impossible odds, he takes down Gradov's men with ruthless efficiency. But Sasha and Olga land a deadly shot, striking him in the head. Seeing their protector fall, Will and Sam don't hesitate. They slip through a secondary exit, only to be captured moments later. And then, like a ghost from the past, Noel Batey appears, alive, unbroken, and ready. She had survived Gradov's brutal attack in Spain.
Sam? How are you not dead?
Sam, how are you not dead? Will asks, stunned. Noel explains the truth behind Gradov's vendetta. Years ago, in a strike meant to dismantle a weapons plant, his son, a brilliant scientist, was killed by accident. Worse, the incident was covered up, and his son's technology stolen for others to use. Gradov's motive isn't only revenge. It's about dismantling NATO from the inside, and he has help from someone in power. Their first suspect is Quincy, the man who forced Sam onto the same doomed plane as Will. Meanwhile, Bradshaw informs the others about the attack on the safe house in Warsaw, holding out hope that Sam and Will are still alive. Quincy dismisses her optimism, haunted by the images of Air Force One going down. Kirk promises a full investigation, but insists NATO's broader issues must be addressed first. Quincy coldly advises acceptance. The leaders are gone. Better to face it now. Far away, Sam refuses to believe that Quincy could be involved. Years of trust cannot be erased so easily. Noel, exhausted by constant bickering, cuts through the tension and urges focus. Survival comes first. The trio catches a train bound for Italy, hoping it will take them safely to Trieste. The journey is tense, but quiet, at least for a while. In one fleeting moment, Will discovers that Sam and Noel once shared a relationship before Sam entered politics. Sam admits he had hoped for a life with her, a future of change and shared dreams. But Noel had chosen another path, and they parted ways. Silence lingers, heavy and unspoken, until the inevitable happens. One of Gradov's assassins strikes. Hammond, exhausted by forced loyalty to Gradov, finally acts on his own. He kills the attacker, giving Will, Sam, and Noel a fighting chance. The road to Trieste is far from over, but one thing is clear: survival will require more than skill. It will demand trust, courage, and a willingness to rely on each other against impossible odds. Hammond is mortally wounded. In his last moments, Hammond delivers a chilling warning: infiltrate Echelon and even take down Air Force One. He urges the trio to abandon the train immediately, or risk being killed at the next station. Despite Noel's hesitation about jumping from a moving train, off the train, the trio steals a car and reaches Zadar, but danger follows. Gradov's men arrive, forcing Sam to hold them off, while Will and Noel search Hammond's computer for clues. Amid the chaos, they uncover old chat logs implicating Will Derringer's aide, Simone Bradshaw. Shocked, they have no time to process the betrayal, as gunfire and explosions surround them. In the ensuing attack, Sam is killed in a blast, leaving Will and Noel heartbroken but determined. Refusing to give up, Will and Noel escape by ship to Trieste, arriving just 30 minutes before the crucial NATO vote. Will calls Acting President Elizabeth Kirk to report his survival and warn her about Bradshaw, promising to delay the vote. But their relief is short-lived. The real traitor is revealed to be Vice President Kirk, who had used Bradshaw as a decoy, pursued through Trieste by assassins. The stakes escalate to a deadly chase. In the nick of time, Sam reappears, miraculously alive. He had survived the explosion in Zadar and made his way to Trieste in a fire truck. Seeing him reignites hope in Will and Noel, who share a passionate reunion, yet the danger is far from over. Together, they fight their way to the NATO summit, racing against time to prevent the collapse of the alliance. Their arrival sends shockwaves through the summit. Speaking of unity and strength, Will, Sam, and Noel prevent NATO's dissolution. Kirk reveals her true ambitions, claiming the US doesn't need its allies. But before she can act further, Gradov's assassins strike. Amid the chaos, Noel kills Sasha, and Will and Sam pursue Gradov. In a climactic finale, Gradov is destroyed when a statue falls on his helicopter, crashing it spectacularly. Sam is gravely injured during the fight, but survives. 2 months later, the world is stabilizing. NATO's alliances are restored, and Clark and Derringer have become close friends. They share a quiet moment over drinks, discussing family and life. In a lighter epilogue, Marty Komar is shown flirting at a bar, revealed to have survived the Warsaw attack thanks to a metal plate in his head. Among the uninterested crowd, one woman pays attention, Agent Noel Bett. Their eyes meet, hinting at a new beginning. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below.